Hi! So today I want to talk about my edges, as you can see by the thumbnail, and how they were thin at one point, like in my hair journey, and then how I kind of grew them back, filled them in a little bit. I just wanted to have a little story time and let y'all guys know that my edges have been an ongoing struggle throughout my whole life. So let's start back when I was a baby. So when I was a baby, my hair grew all on like the top of my head, just top of my head. There was like no hair on the sides, no hair like in the front, and no hair really in the back. It was like kind of like those guys who back, I think like the 80s, early 90s, and some people who do it today to be trendy, have those fades that are really like high up, and then all the hair on the top of their head is just kind of in that square box. That's kind of how my hair looked for the first year and a half to 2 years of my life. And then magically the hair on the sides, in the back, and the front time, like, okay, we'll grow. And it finally started to grow in. At the age of 3 and 4, I finally had like a full head of hair. When I was younger, my hairline wasn't that bad. Like if you looked at it, it wasn't that bad unless you got like real close to my face. And at that time, even now, I don't like people close to my face, so that wasn't happening. You could kind of see there was like thin spots on my temples. I've always had like thin temples. The hair was very fine, thin, and fragile. So when I was about, I'll say 4 to 6 years old, my mom used to go bring me to the hair salon, and I used to get box braids. They were about medium-sized box braids, and they would stop right about here. And I would get them done probably every 3 or 4 months. I would go to this lady and she would just give me the box braids, put them down, and like burn the ends so they would stop like in this like bob. That's how I had my hair from when I was about 3 to the age of about 6, I would say. Then my mom just decided that she didn't want to pay all that money for me to sit and go to the salon, so she just started braiding my hair in simple styles, mostly just braiding them back or braiding it up into like a bun like this. It was actually like a little knob because I didn't have much hair. So just braid it up or braid it down, put beads on it. I was like, you know, the typical African-American girl with just braids and beads. And that was just my thing. For most of elementary school until I got to about, I would say, middle school, about 6th grade or so, I started going back to the salon because I wanted the extensions. I just wanted longer hair. So I would get my hair braided in the cornrows, you know, with the extensions going back, and the hairdresser could do fancy designs, and I was feeling myself, you know, just really feeling myself then. But the problem with that was she was very heavy-handed. And at the time I thought, you know, being heavy-handed was a good thing because, I mean, the tighter the braids were, the longer they would stay in and the fresher they would look. So I would just come out with my head just so sore, and like they were so tight that like my eyes would just be like slanted. But I thought that was good. All I would do was just like sit under a fan and the cool air would just hit me like in between the braids and the scalp, and that was amazing. Now I should have known that wasn't good, but at the time that's what I wanted. So I got those done from about 6th grade to about 8th grade. Then when I got into 9th grade, freshman year in high school, my mom finally let me get a relaxer. So once I got a relaxer, you know, I thought I was too grown, and I just would wear my hair down and it was flowing. And that was the first time I ever got my hair relaxed, was freshman year of high school. So I usually wear it down like that. And then my favorite style became ponytails. Like I like my ponytails smooth, tight, like no hair out of place ponytail. So as you can tell again, like that started to pull on my edges because I would pull them back really tight and then just start combing and brushing and making sure my edges was laid perfectly. And then about 10th grade, I started to notice myself, like, because I was starting to, you know, handle my hair a little bit more. I still was going to the hair salon every 2 weeks for her to wash it, but in between then, I was putting my hair in styles, which was basically just a ponytail. And like I was just like, ugh, they look so thin. So then I just started to part my hair on this side and just comb it, like brush it over, and that was just like my quick fix to my edges being thin. So in college, I started to slow down on ponytails just because, once again, I thought I was grown and ponytails were just, you know, too high school, and I'm in college, like I think I'm the ish. So I mean, I still would wear a ponytail. Like if you still ask certain of my friends in college, like Dominic would wear a ponytail. I still would wear them. I just wouldn't wear them every day like I did in high school. So I was still partying. I still noticed that my edges were thin, and So I would just continue to part and wear my hair down, or part and wear it slick to the side. That was my whole thing. I never wore my hair like just all combed back, because I was just like, my two temples, they were just really thin, and I knew that before being on hair, just they're just so thin, and I just thought that was like how my hair was, because it had been like that a long time. And I even noticed my mom's hair, her hair thinned at the temples, and also my aunt's, their hair was thin at the temples too. So I just figured that it was genetics. I still do feel like it was kind of genetics, and also all the wear and tear from wearing extensions, braids, ponytails, you know, all that stuff kind of played a key role into why my edges were thinning. Senior year, like my last year of college, I got a sew-in and loved it. The problem with that was I had to leave out, and I didn't realize that I kept my sew-ins in for like 4 or 5 months at a time. And you know, the longer it grows, your hair starts to grow out, the track starts to weigh down and just starts to pull on your hair. So my edges were just thinning out again. And it was a slow process, so I didn't realize it till it was like really bad. So I was just sitting there thinking, like, is it, and I realized that my hair underneath was growing, so I was like, do I sacrifice my edges for longer hair and just be that girl who has nice hair but no edges, or do I take my weave out and sacrifice the rest of my hair? And I didn't know what to do, and luckily that's when I came across, you know, Hair Journeys, and found You Love Megs, and you know, research her hair journey. So I was okay then with taking my hair out of the weave, because I feel like I can grow my hair without weave. So then that's when I started my hair journey. And throughout my hair journey, my edges, they've grown back in. They were filling in slowly. And then I found wigs, which were doing amazing once again for the rest of my hair. But I guess the lace just irritates like my edges. Like I would feel it, and I would kind of like lift the wig up and be real ratchet and like scratch underneath, or put a pin up in there and scratching. And I really think this irritation was slowly ripping my edges out. And that's the picture that you've seen in the thumbnail. That's when I stopped wearing, I just took that picture randomly, and that's when I was like, oh my god, my edges are gone. Like, I'm bald. Balding, that's when I really noticed it. That picture was about a year ago. It was January 2014 is when I took that picture. And I was like, oh my god. I was so devastated. I think it was the wig wearing, and also because I had started taking the new medication. I think that might have kind of contributed to it too, but I think it was basically the lace fronts just irritating my scalp, and me scratching it, and my hair just slowly falling out and me not noticing it. So I kind of stopped wearing wigs, kind of was like, okay, I'm going to baby my edges back, and that's like kind of figure out like what do I need to do to get them back in. So before I started putting like all these products on my hair, like the Jamaican Black Castor Oil and Stimulating Growth, I realized I need to stop doing my bad habits. And I think that's like where a lot of people go wrong. They start using all these products to stimulate their hair, but they still are doing the bad things that cause their edges to go out. Like they're still wearing the wigs, they're still pulling their hair back really tight, they're still causing like tension and pressure on their edges by not wearing like satin scarves and all this other stuff. So I think the first thing that like people need to do with edges is just stop all your bad habits. And that's what I did. I just stopped all my bad habits. I wasn't really using too much Jamaican Black Castor or anything else, any real product. I just was like, okay, maybe if I just stop doing, you know, everything that's causing it, my hair will start to, you know, grow back. Because I feel like your body is the best healer for itself. Like it knows itself the best. So I just let my body kind of heal itself, and my edges started to grow in. You know, that it was a slow process, but they did start to grow in. And then the picture you see next to the thumbnail is, I took that like a couple weeks ago. So that was like a whole year, because that was in January 2015. The other picture was January 2014. So that was from me like stop wearing wigs, stop wearing like ponytails too tight, and just letting my edges kind of relax and breathe and just kind of fill themselves back in. I know a lot of people use Jamaican Black Castor Oil, and they're probably like, so why don't you use that? I only wash my hair twice a week. Every 2 weeks. So that's twice a month. I don't wash it. I don't really do co-washes in between. It's just my schedule, my work schedule just don't permit that. I just don't feel like I want to be in my hair that much. I just like to relax sometimes when I get off of work. I don't want to worry about having a co-wash. And so I just wash my hair every other Saturday. And I feel like when you put Jamaican black castor on a lot of products on your hair and you're not washing your hair every week or so, they start to cause buildup. And that's what I realized when I was doing it. Like, it was causing buildup, which was kind of like counterproductive because I was stimulating growth, but then I was like clogging like the hair follicles and stuff, so the hair wasn't able to get out. So I realized that I can't use too many of those products because if you're not washing your hair regularly, they're gonna cause buildup. Like if you use anything excessively, it doesn't matter how light it is, except water, it's going to cause buildup. So now what I do is I just take a little spray bottle of water and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in it, just like a real little bit in there, just like a dash in there. And I just spray that just to keep my edges and my hairline moisturized. And that doesn't really cause buildup. I do that like about every other day, and I realize that it doesn't cause buildup. So that's what I like. I'm also a little bit realistic. I know my edges will never be full because of, like you said, like I showed you my little story time. My edges have gone to about 20 plus years of damage, when starting from the beginning with genetics because they just didn't want to grow in, so they were last to grow in. Then dealing with extensions and consistent braiding for over a decade, I would say, like 10 plus years of me just braiding my hair. And braids are amazing, but we also know they're kind of bad for your edges. And then me being in high school and then getting perms every 8 weeks on the dot, and then wearing my hair tight back into ponytails, not knowing anything about moisturizing and sealing. I did know about wrapping my hair, and I was wrapping my hair, but I just didn't know anything else. And then me getting a weave and then wearing the wig. So it's just like there was a lot of things going on my edges. And my edges, they're not loyal. Like Chris Brown said, you know, these chicks ain't loyal. My edges are not loyal. Like I can go months without doing anything to my edges, like babying them, treating them perfectly. And they'll grow and be all yay. And then I put like one wig on for a night just to go out. If I do on my hair, my edges will just thin out automatically after a couple hours of me wearing the wig because they're just so fragile. I'm just like, I did all the other stuff. I babied you. You can't just ride with me for this one night. Just stay. No, they don't care. They're just like, nope, we don't like it. We're falling out. So I realized about my edges, they're very fragile. So I can't really wear wigs. If I do, then I have to realize like some hairs are gonna fall out. Like, just be realistic. So that's just what I kind of wanted to share with you about my hair story. So that's just what I want to share. I just want to come on here and share my edges, because I kind of said in the beginning of when I started this channel that I was going to show you the good, the bad, the ugly, the not so good, not so bad, just in everything in between in my edges. And I know a lot of African American women, like, edges are a big thing, you know, in our society and in our little group. So I just want to show that I am one of the people, you know, who struggle with edges. It's sad, but I am one of those people who have like thinner edges, and I'm trying to grow them back in. Like I said before, they're never going to grow fully back in, but just the feeling, mostly just a little bit more, I'm good with. Water and oil, and just let your body heal itself. So if you're noticing like you're doing all these things, like you're massaging your scalp every night, you're putting all these oils that are supposed, or these other products that say they stimulate growth, and it's not really growing your hair, maybe just like step back and just, you know, like simplicity is best. Just get some water and some oil, spritz that on your edges, maybe do like a quick rub it in real quick, and let your body just fix itself. It's the best healer. It does take a while. That process, as you can see, did take about a year, but I did have some setbacks throughout that year because I still was hard-headed and still wore some wigs, so that would kind of like pull a little bit of hair out too. But if you just stop doing all your bad habits and just like wait it out, your edges will grow back. I just wanted you to know, because sometimes it's just like you see people on here whose edges grew back in a month or 2 months or 3 months, and you sitting here at 6 months like, what's up? Like, what's wrong with my edges? I just want to let you know, like, it took me a year, so it can take a while for your edges to grow back in, but they will grow back in, because look at me, 20 plus years of damage and they still grew back. So if you have less damage, they will grow back. Like, your hair is pretty resilient and your follicles, they just want to grow. So I just wanted to share my story with you guys. I hope it helped somebody out. Hope it entertained someone. Maybe made some people laugh, smile. I don't really know. But thanks, and you have a good day. Bye.